Alright everyone, hello. And a while back I made a video that kind of gently reminded folks that when it comes to a scrying mirror, this can be a lot of things, right? A scrying mirror being something that people use for divination. And so a lot of folks started asking, well, okay, how do I deal with that? What do I do? Do I do something about this? And if so, what? And I'm finally getting around to showing you guys a little something you can do if you are having hard times with your phone, or you think that people might be using some black mirror to peer through and spy on what you're doing. So again, a scrying mirror, right? It's any kind of black reflective surface that people often use in divination. They can use this kind of like a pool of water or something where they just gaze deeply into it, and because it is a black surface, it's a lot easier to let those kind of intuitive experiences, those images, come through on the surface. It can also warp the things that you're seeing. So like if you spend a long time meditating on your reflection might shift, it might do other things because you're spending so long staring at it, meditating on it, and letting your mind go where it needs to go. And the thing about this is that, yeah, they're useful and they're cool, but also people can, if they are savvy, use them against you, right? They can look through them. So honestly, I mean, if we remember that scene in Lord of the Rings where they had that black kind of scrying ball, they always had to keep it covered, right? Because otherwise it was a two-way street. It's not just that they could look into it and see what Sauron was doing, it was that Sauron could look back at them and see where they were and go get them, right? So that's kind of this idea of a scrying mirror in popular media. And of course, since everyone's carrying a phone around, this is something that one might consider, right? Especially if they are someone who is in the public space. And honestly, I personally don't worry too much about these kinds of things. I personally don't really think that anyone's doing it, and even if they did, they wouldn't really find anything very interesting. However, what I will say is that the phone is also something that can suck your attention in, right? That black mirror is something that can pull attention and energy in, and given how much time we all spend scrolling on our phones every single day, sometimes what I'm about to show you might be helpful, not even because you're worried about other people, but because you just want to sever the tie your phone has on you and pull yourself out of that illusory world that is the internet. Because guys, the internet is real life, but also it's not real life, okay? And sometimes we have to disconnect so we can be more present where we are. I don't know if you guys have ever had this situation, but I've definitely had times when the news got really, really rough, like during 2020 era or anything else, where I would just have to put the phone down, look up at the sky, and say, well, whatever's going on in the world, here I am under this blue sky and this beautiful day in my area, and everything here is fine, right? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta like disconnect from the stress of all the headlines and everything else and remind yourself that actually you yourself physically, you are safe, you are okay. And you need to come back to like where you are on this earth, like 2 feet on the ground right here, and not be stuck in all of these stories and all of these happenings all around the world. So this is a bit of a mental health thing as well as just a simple protection, but in essence, where it starts is with your imagination. It starts with what tools are you going to need to effectively concentrate on what you're trying to do. At the end of the day, that's all that tools and magic are. The tools and magic really don't help that much, okay? They really don't impart any serious power. You're not gonna get like all of the magic in a spell from the onion that you used or from a piece of amethyst. Yes, they help. They are part of God's creation. They, like us, are all just working together and doing their best. But the real magic comes from God, which you as a Christian would channel down through you. All the crystals and plants and everything else are simply allies to help you focus and maybe support a little bit. They're not doing the bulk of the work. You and God together are doing the bulk of the work. With that said, here is my boyfriend's phone. I'm going to use this as a demonstration, but as you can see, right, black mirror. You can see pretty much my entire house through this thing. It's reflective, right? And like it doesn't show things super clearly, but it shows them enough that you can really meditate on it and get some good divinatory experiences through them. It is also a two-way street depending on who's trying to get to you. And again, it's something that connects you to the world. So if you're trying to be more present in your own world and not in the great wide world, it's a really good idea to consider locking it down a bit. And to that extent, right, what I have literally to represent that is a lock and a key. You might even unlock the lock at the start of the ritual so that you can lock it down later on and symbolize that this thing is no longer active. But I'm also going to include things like a black towel to represent the covering, right? The shielding of this thing. Even when you take it off, it should still kind of work that way, right? Like, we don't have to keep things covered 100% of the time. It's fine. What matters is you're putting this as a metaphorical cover, right? As a screen, so things can't look back at you. I would also then suggest, black stones like amethyst, obsidian. Even my obsidian is a little bit reflective. It could be its own scrying mirror if I wanted. But also, we also have Beluck, cleansing it for us. But these black stones suck up negativity and trap negativity. And then after that, I would pick some crystals that, represent something that you want to gain from locking this phone. So Halite here is anti-anxiety, taking away my anxiety around the phone. We've got Moonstone, which of course the moon is a representative of things hidden. I want my personal effects to stay hidden from others. And then Amethyst as wisdom and peace and serenity, as in by locking down this phone and then preventing others from using it and preventing it from drawing me in, I can reconnect to my own intuition and wisdom. So I would start with sound cleansing the phone with a bell, or if you have a bird, maybe with a bird. Some kind of sound cleansing to just kind of interrupt anything that might be coming in, going out, anything like that. And after that, it's entirely up to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to represent cutting yourself off from this thing, in which case string and scissors works really well? Do you want to, again, really maximize the power of that lock? Think like when you unlock your phone, it has that little lock that swings open. So think of it like you are locking that phone so that, it no longer has a grip on you and it stays closed to you unless you need to use it. Anything you want, anything you need to do it here. And you can write your own spell. You can, find a Bible verse that matches your intentions of safety and security. One that has to do with God foiling the plans of evildoers, even if you think someone's coming after you through it. There are plenty of psalms that do that. But nonetheless, it's all you after that. This is entirely your game. This is entirely your back. Your spell is your spell. I can't tell you the specifics of what language is going to matter to you or what things you should get from it or anything like that. I'm simply giving you an example of what it is you could do and what I personally would do, right? So I haven't done this on my own phone because, again, I'm not super worried about it, but I might. Not because I'm worried about other people with some kind of Sauron episode, but because I just want to use my phone less. And this is honestly a great spell for helping cut down that screen time too. So when it comes to all of that, it's really not that big of a deal, okay? Never feel like you have to do things out of fear. Your spirit guides, like your guardian angel, God himself, like they're watching after you. And if they really, think you need to, they'll tell you so. However, it also doesn't hurt just to kind of do this as a metaphysical and mental reminder to maybe back off, get off your phone for a little bit, disconnect, get more present in your everyday real life. Like literally go outside, touch grass, right? But with all that said, very quick demonstration. You could see exactly where I'm going with this, and I hope this helps maybe give you some inspiration for how you might likewise do a similar thing. And of course, when you are done with the spell, very easy to close it out. Just, do your final lasting prayers, everything like that. Close it up, give it a big old clap, sever the energy connection, and then clean it up. Just, there you go. You might wrap your phone up for a little bit, maybe for an hour, and then after that it's fine. You might leave the crystals around it for a while, whatever you want to do. Or you can just pack it all up right after. Doesn't matter. But so I hope that is helpful, and I will see you guys next time for some more Christian Witch discussions. See ya!